Thomas Godolphin was devoted to developing ever more powerful soups. If you listen to me, that could be you. The most powerful soup to ever come out of Godolphin. Hell, the most powerful that Vought has ever seen.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here to break down Gen V Season 2, Episode 4, and man, we got a lot to unpack. There's a lot of Cipher. This is a Cipher-centric episode as he forces Jordan and Marie into a fight to be ranked number 1. Cate is tasked with taking him down, and in doing so, her and Jordan find a very unsettling discovery. We see him training Marie and trying to unlock her true power potential. And speaking of Cipher, the team unfortunately learns just how dangerous he truly is. Let's get into the ring and get some answers and break down this episode. Full spoilers ahead. So last we left off, Jordan dropped the truth bomb about Vought, calling him out about Andre's death and Cate's attack. And how does the public react? Well, if Firecracker's latest rant is anything to go by, it's all the woke plague at God you. According to her, of course. Now, speaking of spin, remember my prediction last week about Cate trying to get back in Cipher's good graces? Well, we see that here. As Cate makes a video doubling down on her story about Starlight's attack on her and it not being Jordan. Meanwhile, we see Jordan and Marie are calming their nerves outside of Cipher's office, ready for whatever storm he's about to unleash, as Marie promises Jordan that she's got their back no matter the consequences. As Cate walks out after getting yelled at, Marie and Jordan walk in and are introduced to Seth from marketing, the Vought employee we've seen throughout the Boys series, who is always prepared with a fresh and horrifying marketing idea. And he's got something interesting to show them. Seth shows them God U presents the Gender Bender versus the Blood Bender, a full-on fight between Jordan and Marie. Now, naturally, Marie and Jordan refuse this ridiculous idea, but Cipher, he makes it crystal clear they have no choice in the matter.
But I'm sure Jordan would issue some sort of statement.
You do not have a fucking choice!
And here's the thing, if they don't do it, Marie, Jordan, and Emma are immediately going to be sent back to Elmira. Now, adding insult to the literal injury, the fight will be real in front of everyone and Marie will win. Marie knows she can't physically beat Jordan, but Cipher promises she can, especially after their training appointment later that afternoon. Now, as they say, desperate times indeed call for desperate measures. And the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Now, after spilling the beans to Emma about their insane ultimatum, Marie suggests they reach out to Cate. Now, the idea is to get Cate to use her powers on Cipher to stop the fight, find out what he knows about Project Odessa, and finally figure out who he really is. As we watch Marie and Jordan at Cate's door, proposing the unthinkable, which is to put their differences aside and actually work together. Now, Cate admits that she hasn't been able to read Cipher's mind, but she suggests they dig up some dirt on him to force his hand. Now, her idea is to look into the mysterious locked door in his house. As the plan is set, use Marie's training time with Cipher to pull a full Tom Cruise Mission Impossible to see what secrets are behind that door. Meanwhile, we see Emma's new friendships are developing. We see her with Harper and her roommate Allie filling them in on the insane stage battle royale that's taking place later that evening. Now, Emma's ready for action and she's ready to sabotage things. Now, it's within this conversation we finally learn Allie's powers. She can manipulate her hair like Medusa, but not the hair on her head, it's somewhere else, which we see later in this episode. Now, joining this trio is Allie's brother, who has flight capabilities, who Emma briefly flirted with in a social media class, which to me is definitely being set up to have some type of romantic development between the two characters. Now, outside Cipher's house, Jordan watches Vought's new deepfake promo for the upcoming fight. Now, as we watch Jordan and Cate attempt to be on the same page despite their recent history, they share a moment where they recall their friendship before everything went to hell. Now, with that aside, it is time for the break-in. We see Cate trying to use her powers, remembering that they're broken. She tells the security guard to give them his key and forget that he saw them. And it almost works. But again, with Cate's powers on the fritz, we watch as the guard pulls his pants down and goes full tech knight, putting a part of his body inside of a garden gnome. Now, despite the mishap, they get the key and open the mysterious door. Now, inside this door, they find music playing and a person with full body burns hooked into a life support system within a chamber. Now, before the mysterious person wakes, they grab a quick photo and they head out. Now, I think it's safe to assume this mysterious person is no other than Thomas Godolkin himself. We may be looking at a Stormfront situation here where we remember Homelander kept her alive for a little bit in season 3 in The Boys. Now, we'll later discover the relationship between Cipher and this person, but there's still a lot to unpack. If this is indeed Thomas Godolkin, have they been in this position since the incident in 1967? Now, speaking of Cipher, back at Marie's private training lesson, we see Cipher's first test is to have her move bags of blood without bursting them. Now, Marie struggles, but Cipher insists she continues, pushing her to focus on every single cell of blood. Now, after this pep talk, Marie finally gets it, moving all the blood bags without a single burst. Now, of course, we've seen Victoria Powers in action, and even she knew that Marie was special. Now, with the revelation that Marie is Project Odessa, we may be looking at the most powerful soup ever who could possibly stand a chance against Homelander. Now, the next lesson is to move a goat by the name of Eli Muss without killing it. Now, Marie understandably has her doubts, and this is where Cipher drops a bomb on her. He explains that Marie is the reason the school exists. Thomas Godolkin was devoted to creating the most powerful soup, and Marie could be just that. Again, even more powerful than Homelander. Now, of course, no pressure in lifting this goat as we see Marie's distracted as she looks at Cipher's blood and she realizes he doesn't have compound V in his system. He's not a soup. And shocked by this, Marie accidentally kills Eli Muss and they move on to another test subject by the name of Julia Fox. Now, we'll be discussing a little bit later on why it seems that Cipher has it out for Homelander, but again, we'll save that to later in this breakdown. Now, speaking of training, since Harper temporarily used Emma's powers last episode with ease, Emma asks her for help in harnessing her powers without her old methods. Now, Emma struggles, but Harper hits her with a dose of inspiration. Emma hasn't just inspired Allie to share her powers, which she doesn't do, but she also has inspired Harper. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Emma, and I've enjoyed this season handling of the character so far. Watching the deconstruction and rebuilding of her confidence from someone who used her mother's belittling her and used her eating disorder to tap into her powers to now not having to do any of that has been a really great arc so far to me. I definitely see her having like some full-blown hero moment at some point later in this season. And as an Emma fan, I'm excited to see that hopefully happen. Now, back from their mission and individual trainings, we have Jordan, Cate, Emma, and Marie together in their dorm as they show Marie the mysterious guy in the chamber. Now, Marie tells them that Cipher isn't a soup, that he's a human. But before they can even process that, Cate's phone goes off. It's Cipher, and he wants her to meet after finding her on the camera visiting his house. Now, Marie sees this as an opportunity, as the new plan is to get Cate to get the information out of him with the help of Emma attempting to use her powers in the new way, with Allie and Harper tagging along as well, all while the fight between Jordan and Marie is happening. At God U Unsafe Spaces, televised on VSN3 VOD Sports Network, the fight between the Benders is on. Now, meanwhile, Emma's little gang of Harper, Allie's brother, and Allie, who's now known as Bushmaster, are all set to get their parts of this mission started. Now, backstage, after hearing the crowd screaming how much they hate Jordan, they share how being hated was a nightmare of theirs when they were growing up, and now it's turned into a reality. Now, Marie takes this chance to remind Jordan that none of this is actually real and that they love each other as they head into the ring. Now, as we watch Jordan and Marie make their way into the ring, Cate confronts Cipher. She starts off pretty strong in this conversation, revealing that she has her powers back, as Cipher takes this opportunity to tell her that the man in the chamber is actually his father. Now, before he can go into any details, Cipher heads into the bathroom. And here's where Mini Emma comes into play. Now, little Mini Emma is flushed into the toilet, and yes, she sees balls and all, has full dedication to this mission as she gets her camera perfectly placed to capture the rest of this conversation. Now, as the fight starts, we see Cate thinking that she's in full control in this conversation and doubles down. She tells Cipher she knows that he's not a soup and he's a human.
I know what you are. Or more importantly, are not.
Meanwhile, in the ring, Marie and Jordan don't fight, but they actually share a passionate kiss. Now, suddenly, everything changes. The games are over. Cipher, with a smirk on his face, knew that he was being recorded the whole time. Him knowing this might be an early indication of some of the powers that we'll find out here in a second. Now, he reveals that Marie's intel wasn't correct at all. He actually does have powers. Back in the ring, Jordan shifts. Their body language change, and then without warning, Jordan punches Marie. Now Cipher, who again is allegedly a human, has the terrifying ability to control people and puppet them. Jordan, completely under Cipher's control, takes full command of the fight. Now Marie, she's stunned. She doesn't know what the hell to do, and she lifts Jordan in the air off of her, and again remembering the last time she did this with the goat. As Jordan is about to explode, just like that goat that we saw earlier in the training, but Cipher either loses control or decides that his point has been made. As Jordan is back to their senses and Marie gently puts them down. And the fight is over, and everything we thought we knew was wrong. Cipher is a soup, but isn't the soup that we have known soups to be, because it doesn't appear he has compound V in his system. So it looks like Cipher is basically Professor Charles Xavier from the X-Men with the ability of reading people's minds, and maybe he was given this ability by his father, Thomas Godolkin. So let's break down Cipher's revelations, because this is huge. He has powers, but it doesn't seem to stem from compound V in his blood. If Marie's intel, however flawed, said that he was a human, maybe he doesn't have traditional compound V in his system. Is whatever what we saw in that container in episode 1 this season what those Vought scientists were working on in his system? Could it be a variation of compound V that's completely undetectable? Now, if my theory is to be true, that is Thomas Godolkin in that chamber and he is to be the father of Cipher, did he inject this mysterious substance into his baby, or did Cipher do his own experiments once he became older and finished his dad's legacy? And speaking of these newfound abilities, is it just he has the abilities of controlling people's minds and puppeting them, or does he have other abilities as well? Now again, I believe that Thomas Godolkin is the one in the chamber and is the father of Cipher, but could it be revealed that he's someone else entirely? Someone even more significant or more sinister in Vought's history. Also, I feel like Cipher wants Marie to be stronger and more powerful than Homelander. Is there some unknown beef between Cipher and Homelander very similar to the last dean of Godolkin? Does Cipher want Homelander dead? Again, comparing Cipher to the previous dean, did Homelander do something bad to Cipher or someone close to him? Overall, honestly, I thought this was the best episode of this new season so far. I found the pacing to be on point. It kept me engaged through all the different storylines that we had in this week's episode. The story to me is finally going in a direction that's more interesting than the previous episodes, and having finally really built some tension and intrigue. Having Cate back in the mix and being actively in the group really worked for me in this episode. Not sure where Sam was in the episode, but I'm confident he'll make his way back into the fold soon enough. Emma has truly been a standout for me in this season and has found her stride with her side crew, and her abilities are evolving, and that's incredible to see. And I definitely see this new possible love interest happening for her as well. And everything going on with Marie, Project Odessa, and now Cipher's shocking discoveries, all combined with the mystery of the man in the chamber, all compelling elements for me. I'm really excited to learn more about all this in the coming weeks. So with all that said, what did you all think? Is Thomas Godolkin the man in the chamber, also known as Cipher's dad? Can Marie become the most powerful soup and go toe-to-toe against Homelander? Let me know your thoughts and your theories and your predictions for the weeks ahead in the comments below. Now, if you all have made it to this point in the breakdown, I really appreciate you all, and I thank you all for the support. Do me a favor and put in the comments right now, #Bushmaster. Thank you all for watching or listening to my breakdown of episode 4 of season 2 of Gen V. Please consider liking and sharing this breakdown to anyone and everyone you know that loves talking about this show. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, try out the new feature. If you hit the like button, there's going to be a button that says hype. Hit the hype button so we can spread this video out to new viewers. And last but not least, consider subscribing to the channel today, where I'll be talking more about Gen V and other different movies and shows, all available on the channel. Now, if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, do me a favor, let me know your thoughts about this episode, and also follow the podcast, leave a review, and I would really appreciate that. All right, y'all, thanks again for the support and watching this week's breakdown. Don't forget, you all are awesome, stay safe, and I will see you all next week for episode 5 of this new season of Gen V.